overseas living in China for the last 9 years, and in the 9 years I was the 外教口语老师在环球雅思. Okay, so I've been teaching IELTS for about 9 years. Before that I was a high school teacher at Sydney Boys High School, so I'm quite used to dealing with teaching Chinese students to pass the IELTS test. Okay, what we're going to do today, I'll just introduce myself. So I'm a qualified teacher here in Australia, and I've taught thousands of students to get through the IELTS tests. Okay, and I think I'm pretty good at doing it. Okay, I'm pretty good at like raising people's marks, and most of you students will be quite, because you've already got here, most of you have probably got like Liu Fer, Wu Liao Wu, something like that to come here. Most of you are university students now, yes? Okay, great. Could you quickly just tell me what's your major and where do you study?
Major?
Yeah.
Accounting.
Accounting, yeah. And where do you study?
UTS.
Okay, great. Major, accounting, UTS. It's like it's 3 words. Okay. All right. And where do you study?
Yeah, I study at UNSW. I major in accounting and finance.
Very good. Okay. Yourself?
My major is accounting as well, and
accounting.
Sorry.
At Macquarie University. Okay. So how long have you lived in Australia for?
Almost two years.
Okay. Do you like it?
No, sorry. 1 year.
1 year.
Math.
Okay, poor maths. And you're an accountant. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you enjoy your life here in Australia?
Indeed.
Indeed. Okay. What is it that you like about living here?
I think the lifestyle and the food.
And the food. Okay. What is it about the Australian? I mean, is there Australian food? No, kind of. There's a variety of food, yeah. There's a good variety of food. And that's mainly a great way to describe living in Australia and the food here in Australia, because Australia is like an 移民的国家，是多多的民族. So we have like, it's a multicultural country. Okay, and you might have heard this word. Australia is like a melting pot of culture. Okay, and as such, we have really good food and a great variety of food. Okay, so this word, melting pot, have you 听过了吗? Melting pot. Okay, it's a melting pot of culture. All right, so they're great ways of describing like where you live and what you like. Now, very quickly, could you tell me something about where are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Beijing, China.
You're from Beijing, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, it's capital of China.
Good.
And also similar to Sydney, is also a major city in China.
Yeah.
With a variety of food.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy food and also many famous tourist attractions. Attractions. For example, 故宫怎么说? Forbidden City.
Forbidden City, good.
Some palace.
Yes.
And Great Wall, of course.
Ah, good. That's right. What's that saying in Chinese? Something. If you don't go to the wall, 非好汉, something like that. Yeah. I remember hearing that. You know, like, it's quite interesting. Okay, so just very quickly, how long have you lived in Australia for?
I've been here for 5 years.
Wow. Do you like it?
Yeah, that's why I'm still here.
But hey, I mean, there's got to be this, like, when an examiner asks you like a simple question like, oh, do you like it? What do you like about this, or what do you, it's actually inviting you to actually try and use that as an opportunity to 比较. Okay, and what you should try and do is go, well, yeah, rather saying, do you like living in Australia? I like living in Australia. 不行. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, you've got to change it to like, I really love living in Australia, or I really enjoy my lifestyle living in Australia. However, and try and do a comparison, or using that. Well, on one hand, I really enjoy living in Australia because of da and da. However, at times I feel maybe homesick or something like that. All right, so just simple things like that. It's 好印象, okay? It makes a good impression. All right. Right. Let's talk about your major. Okay, what's your major?
Finance and accounting as well.
Right, okay.
And I just graduated end of last year.
Okay. And what would you like to do?
I'm planning to be a professional accountant, but it's just a dream, and I'm planning to get the CPA certification right now.
Right, I'm planning. Okay, good. All right, I would like, or I'm hoping to. All right. Often students will do something like that. This is in China. Like, I'm going to England. I'm going to study accounting in the US. I'm going to Australia to study architecture. Well, sometimes if you sort of say something like that, sure, you're feeling that, oh, I would like to do this, but for a European or a native English speaker, when they hear that, it actually sounds a bit 自大的. 你知道自大? It's a bit arrogant. Okay, so you really should try and use like I would like to, or I'm hoping to, because sometimes it's the examiner goes, oh well, maybe if you pass the IELTS test and I give you cheaper, you know what I mean? Okay, all right, let's move on to you guys are quite good. Right, so I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on this because you obviously know all this type of thing about how long the IELTS test goes for. We need to, it goes for 11 to 14 minutes. We know that our section 1, we just have general introductory questions, and this is followed by questions of more personal information like your name, your hometown, and the 微信. So forth like that, where you study and what you study. Section 2 is our monologue area where we need to talk for 2 minutes. It's always a really good idea when you're preparing for part 2 that the examiner see you 写作关键词, all right, writing down some keywords to help you prepare for the question, because a lot of the times the examiners will sit there and ask a student do a part 2 question, and the student sits there like this going, I want to talk about my hometown. My hometown is a lovely place. And it's like they're in bed. There's this imaginary piece of paper sitting up in the air going, I want to talk about this. And it's like the examiner's going, look at the examiner. Okay? Look at the examiner. All right? It's really important. Okay? All right. And then, of course, when we get to part 3, we have our long term where it's more of a discussion, and we're usually having lots of questions that are generally related to our part 3 question, and we can see that we have generally the subject for part 3 is usually related to our part 2 section, and these questions are generally more demanding and they require a lot more critical analysis. Okay, now what do you think critical analysis means? Most of you have been to university here would probably know something about this. Right, critical analysis. What it demands is that you need to give an opinion, you need to support the opinion, and then maybe give an example of why you have that idea. Okay, so you'll always have questions in part 3 that will be simply about like describing something. You'll have a question which will be an idea of being able to give an opinion, and then we'll also have questions that will kind of force the student to try and compare. Okay, to try and comparing their opinions. Okay, and then obviously give examples. All right, what I'm going to do now is, okay, our fluency. What is fluency? How easy, smooth and flowing your speaking is, and how easy it is for the examiner to understand you. Okay, that means not lots of okay, smooth. Okay, smooth. When you're speaking in English, a lot of people will tend to speak like they're reading. Do you understand? A lot of times students will speak like they're reading. So it's my name is Sean. I am from Sydney, Australia. I used to be a school teacher at Sydney Boys High. You sound like a 机器人. You know what I mean? You've got to try and think of your 节奏. Think of rhythm. Think like music. Think like music. It's like我会说那个意大利语 like buonasera signore, speranza molto bene. Okay? When you listen to an Italian, it sounds like this. When you speak English, try and sound like think of music. Think of the 节奏, the rhythm. Okay, go up and down. Your important words, say higher. If it's an important word, you need to say it higher or say it longer. Okay? The shorter words, you say smaller and quicker. These are the ways that can improve your speaking. Okay? Especially, it helps a lot in your pronunciation as well. Next, the range of words that you use when you're speaking test and whether you use the words in the right way, at the right time and in the right place. Okay? I like this person because he is very happy. Funny, hilarious. Okay? Show your vocabulary when you're describing someone. If you're trying to describe someone, he or she is very 怎么说专心致志的专心致志的怎么说 Yeah, 专心致志的 Come on.
Concentrate.
说了 Dedicated. Okay, dedicated, committed. It's basically, if you're saying someone 很努力工作 hard-working, all right? So you say hard-working, committed, dedicated, all right? So you say, what do you like about this person? Say you're describing someone that you look up to. I really respect this person because they're very hard-working. Hard-working is very easy, as a very easy adjective to describe someone. But to use something like, I respect this person because they're really hard-working. They're committed. They're really dedicated. Right? That's your vocabulary. Right? Here we're getting into the chifra bafra range. Okay? So we need to show and improve our vocabulary. All right, and then of course, grammar. I studied grammar at school and I hated it. And I speak English. Okay? It's terrible. It's it's awful, but it's important. It's really important. He, she. Very simple mistakes that a lot of people make. Using simple past tense, okay, it's another common mistake. How do we subjugate our verbs properly? All those types of things are really important, and a lot of students can make little mistakes, which is something that we don't want to do. And then the last one here I'll talk about is our range of grammar and our pronunciation. This grades how clearly you speak your English. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on pronunciation. I tend to believe, with most examiners that I've met, if you can understand what the student is saying, then that is fine. Okay. Generally, how can you best describe this? Okay, I'm Australian. When I speak Chinese, I always sound like a foreigner speaking Chinese. Okay? You're Chinese. When you speak English, you will always sound like Chinese speaking English. There is nothing we can do about it. I know it feels really 很沮丧. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. But it just takes time. And the 环境重要的, where you are. And if you get the opportunity, just try and speak as much as you can. All right? All right, let's get to something that's... Right, there we go. There's a very typical examples of part 1 questions, your hometown, do you like your hometown, and how do you think your hometown will change in the future? Well, that's something about your hometown. Now, this question is merely just a describing question. It's not an opinion question. Where you're from, it's just information. All right. Our second part is, do you like your hometown? Obviously here we need to give your opinion and support your opinion. And in our third question here, the examiner is testing actually your future tense. The future tense. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. Well, I suppose. I'm not really sure, but maybe in the future. Okay? So that's really important that you start a question, and this is a common question. Okay, any kind of future tense, because the examiner is testing you, the student, being able to use the future tense. So you need to start with, well, maybe, but I'm not sure, or it's possible that. Okay, and it shows the examiner, great, they can do it. Tick, future tense. All right, I love this. I love doing this just for fun. Band 4 answer. Come on. Tell me something about your hometown. It's like, I'm from here. Here's another good one. Do you like your hometown?
Yes.
Yes, it's good. Another one. What would you change about your hometown? Maybe less people. Okay. Right. Right, now, but what we should be looking at is we're looking at our opportunities here to get these very simple questions, and I kind of like to exploit them for the most that you can do out of them, okay? So we know that in my answer tips here, I'm just saying, well, okay, we know we need to use the present tense. Okay, we need to give factual information, and another way of expanding on this answer is sort of mention any kind of famous landmarks or foods, etc., that your hometown is is known for. So if I talk about your hometown, where?
I'm from Yangzhou in Jiangsu province.
Jiangsu province. Okay. Now, what is famous in your hometown, or what is your hometown well known for? I know. Like, I mean, think of like, like maybe you've got some, like jidan bing or some kind of,
Some fish. It's
yeah.
And the fish is some poison.
I know this fish. Yeah, and they have to take this out. Yeah, they've got to take that out, and then the chef has to be very good. Yeah. Yes, it's a great thing. And a really good way is to prepare and think about your hometown. Think of some kind of famous food that is from your hometown, because it's quite useful. Because later on we're gonna look at describing a dish, of how we're going to cook a dish. Okay. Hi. What's your hometown well known for?
I beg your pardon?
What is your hometown well known? What's some kind of famous food from your hometown?
Yeah, because I come from Xi'an.
Xi'an, yeah.
Famous city.
Bingma, yeah. You can't eat them though. Yeah.
But the famous food in my city is Yang
Rou, so lamb soup.
Chinese cake.
With Chinese cake? 蛋糕?
No, the Chinese like doll or something.
Yeah.
It's cooked.
Okay, so we probably call that lamb. Now, 那个口味是什么？是辣的，是盐的，咸的。Salty. Okay, so salty. We would just call it we could call it lamb stew soup.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we do. But my hometown is well known for its lamb stewed soup. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Maybe one more. 男的，係應該。
I'm from Jilin.
吉林I know there. 山東。
Yeah.
山東 province 去過。羊肉串豆腐乳。yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
I like the snack of crispy pancake.
Oh, yeah.
They're very thin and crispy.
Yeah.
They have something inside the sugar.
Yeah.
Some peanuts.
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
That's great. Yeah. So it's like a pancake. 這個是炸嗎？炸的 So deep fried.
No.
It's not deep fried?
No, it's still
煎的
yeah.
煎的 Okay, so
Stir fry? No.
I don't think call it stir fry. 煎的是我忘了东西是什么 Pan fried. Yeah. Grilled. Yeah, grilled. Yeah. Baked 這個是烤的 I forgot my English. Yeah.
I will say grill.
It's like 铁蛋的 Yeah. Okay, hot plate.
Yeah,
Hot plate. Yeah, that's great. That's kind of thing. All right, come on. So there we go. So I've just given some very simple tips, and I might just say use where I was from. I was living in Jinan. I know Jinan's a medium-sized city. We know it's Shanhui, or the capital city of Shandong Province. It's in the northeast of Shandong Province, and Jinan is known for, it has a long history, and it's also known for its natural water springs. Okay?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I just want to know if when I do the speaking test, should I have a good structure as I did like a writing test? Like, should I have give the topic sentence, then give some good example to support my main idea?
Yes.
Should I do like this one?
Yeah. I mean, if you have the opportunity to personalise your answer, it's very good. All right, so especially in part 3 where you have more time. For example, I remember when. Okay? And then you're personalising the answer. Okay, that's a really good idea. Yep. So there we go. So there's my 关键词, just the keywords, and then my example sentence would be something like that. Okay? Let's go to our next question here. It says, do you like your hometown? Now what you need to do is we need to express your like or dislike about your hometown, and obviously we need to change that word like. Do you like your hometown? Yes, I like my hometown. Okay, we need to change that. Something like, I love my hometown, or I'm really into my hometown, or, my hometown's a great place, and then give reasons for that. Try and avoid using, the examiner will always use a very simple, what do you like? What do you dislike? Right? And you should try and change that. Don't fall into that trap of, I like, I don't like. Mention 2 things about your hometown. I'm using this word accustomed. 这个什么说? Accustomed. 习惯了, okay? Accustomed. I'm accustomed to. And then in this answer here, I would probably use the example of try to use 2 positive adjectives that describe your hometown. Okay, and we just go to here. Used some family and friends. That is I'm accustomed to the laid-back lifestyle of my hometown. My hometown is really peaceful and serene and has a good climate. Okay. And then there's an example sentence of me using the keywords in a sentence. Okay? So if a student actually said this, then they'd probably score a band 7 or a band 8 if they maintained answering that over the whole 11 to 14 minutes of the exam. Okay, so sure, I love my hometown. I live in Ruzhou. It's where all my family and friends are. I'm really accustomed to the laid-back lifestyle, and I can make my own way around easily. My hometown has a lot to offer. It's peaceful, serene, and has a good climate. It's a very Bafra answer. What would you change about your hometown? And you should say, if I could change anything about my hometown, I would like to. Now, if there's something that a lot of people dislike about their hometown, like most hometown, a lot of cities back in China, we have a lot of problems with our pollution and so forth. I mean, that's a very simple answer, and the examiner's probably heard it a lot, and I wouldn't actually use it because a lot of textbooks have this kind of answer. But the whole idea is I want you to understand the method, okay? And the method being, well, say what the problem is, say what causes the problem, and what is the result of that problem. Okay? Do you understand? So, if there's a problem, what causes the problem, and then what is the result of a problem? I can't describe it how you say it in Chinese, the grammar. Present continuous as a result of this then, basically. Okay, it will move your mark up. But in the example sentence you'll see, I'm just saying here, okay, if I could change anything about my hometown, it would be the air quality. It's really shocking. Often you need to wear a mask because of all the pollution. This is due to the many factories in the suburbs and the large amount of cars on the road, especially during peak hours. Overall, I really like my hometown. I'm accustomed to it. Great. Simple. Right, now we have fun. Right, let's have a look at these part 2 question, describing a meal. And what we're looking here is anything to do with a process, something you have learnt to do. Alright, so you need to describe a process. We need to use sequence adverbs. Alright, first you, then you, after that you, next you, finally you. Then we need to use the 动词, the verbs. Alright, now let's just have a look here at this salad, and we can see 洋葱什么说 Great, 那个西红柿 tomatoes 黄瓜 cucumber good, 那个生菜什么说 very good, very good. Okay, 那个橄榄油 olive oil, good. Okay, 那个盐和胡椒 salt and pepper. And right now 动词，那个动词切片什么说 slice, very good. 切 cut. Okay, so we can see 切片 slice onions, cut tomatoes, slice cucumber, cut lettuce. Now, 1、2、3、4方里面那个碗 put the onions, tomatoes, cucumbers and lettuce into a bowl and pour some olive oil. Next we 撒什么说 Very good. Sprinkle. 厉害 Yeah, sprinkle. 撒 Alright, sprinkle salt and pepper. 然后搅拌 stir or mix. Finally you stir or mix. So, from looking at these pictures, what we need to do is kind of visualize in your mind you making this dish. Okay? So, we're looking at this, describe a dish that you can cook. What the ingredients are, how it is cooked, what it is usually eaten with, and say what you like or dislike about cooking. Right, so we can see here, well, a dish that I can cook is a mixed salad. The ingredients for this dish are, okay, how it is cooked. First you slice the onions, then you cut the tomatoes. After that you slice the cucumber. Next you cut the lettuce. After that you put the onions, tomatoes, cucumbers and lettuce in a bowl and pour some oil. After that, you sprinkle some salt and pepper, and finally you mix the salad. Okay? So, what's going to give you the marks? What's going to give you the marks is showing the examiner all the verbs. All those different verbs. Each of those different verbs is going to push up your marks. So you end up, and we had all those verbs here, slice, we add wash. Well, in China, wash. 地沟油 wash, cut. Yeah. What's that? I'm trying to think. 油条. 油条. In English, how do you say that? I think it's, would it be like fried bread? Kind of like a fried bread or something?
It's just like
Yeah. Fried bread? Deep fried bread. Yeah.
Fried long donut.
Yeah, kind of like a, but it's not a donut, because donut we'd always is a sweet thing.
Well, it's crispy.
Yeah. Can you get it here?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Cool. And then just got our other verbs: the pour, the sprinkle, the mix, and stir at the end. So then what you're doing is, what you can basically do if you're looking at the answer and breaking this whole answer down to put it into key words, you can just see, well, okay, here's my first part of the question. I'm going to answer here. I'm going to use these verbs here, and then I'm going to say, well, what can these dishes be usually eaten with if I'm having a salad, and maybe why you like having salad. Why am I just saying, well, oh yeah, nutritious, 什么说？不营养的 yeah, okay, nutritious, okay, 减肥 lose weight. Right, I like eating salad because it helps me to lose weight. And then say what you like or dislike about cooking. Here I'm using just some ideas, and if you look at these, like 实用的, okay, useful, practical, right, fulfilling. When I cook, it makes me feel really proud, okay, and that. Now, this is where we have the opportunity when at the end of the question says, what do you like or dislike about cooking? Always compare and say, well, sure, I love cooking for these reasons, but on the other hand, what I dislike about cooking is cleaning up or 洗碗, washing dishes. Okay? Cool. 几点？还有10分钟. Right. Oh, I can't play a game because I haven't got any cards. I had a game to play. I don't have any cards. Right. This is a question that a lot of students get a little bit, have problems with. That's been coming up in the test. It just came up in December in China. And tell me about a game that you can play. Okay. What it is, how often you play it, how it is played, and explain how you feel when you play or win this game. Okay, it's quite difficult. A lot of students. We used to have a question. What was the other question? That was a hard one. Describe a piece of art. Oh, you know. So students are thinking like, oh, 文艺复兴怎么说？ you know. 偶像派, you know, 现在抽象主义, you know, like very difficult, to describe an artwork, you know. But basically, this question it's describing a picture. All right, it's just describing what you see. It's no different to like describe a photograph or anything like that. So you describe what you see. You might want to explain maybe 那个艺术家的手法, you know, the artist's methods of painting. Say you're talking about Van Gogh, Van Gogh, or something like that. Yeah, they take the question away, so don't worry. because it was too difficult. It was too difficult. The students were like, okay, but this one is another one that's been coming up, and but we won't do that today. What I want to do quickly, because this is kind of fun, what I want us to do is I might get some students to look at this. Now, I did the mixed salad dish, so what I want you to do is I might just grab... 你想那个参加吗? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alright. Now, I want 一个选组是3个人. One, you can do salad. And you can do 那个这个. Okay? Alright, another 3. 你们是一起的. B, A, that's very easy, and here you can do the salad, that's so simple, sorry. And I'll get, do that. You do should be, so you should A, and 5 years, 5年了, there you go. Oh, 你参加, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, 你参加, oh, okay. How many else have I got? 3, another 3. Okay, you can do this. You can do this. This is very easy. How do we go? Okay. And yours is very easy because I already did it for you. Okay. And yeah, no, 不能写. You can do that. It's very easy. Okay. This one's a little bit harder. Actually, no, get her. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. And, okay. Right. Good. Now look at how do we go, Emma? Yeah. You want to 参加吗? Yeah. Okay. You sure? That's. I got this one. I got this one. Great. They're young. Sorry. Oh, it's harder. This is harder. Good.
All of us, actually.
Well, officer, but she's a student.
Okay.
Oh, really?
All right. Good. Okay. Students, don't look at each other's sheets. Don't look at each other's sheets. All right. So what I want you to do is look at the pictures. Now think of what is the verb. What is the verb? What is the ingredient? Okay? Now, 奶酪什么说? Good. 黄油? Great. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to look at your picture and I'm going to ask you to describe the picture. Alright? And you go, and using that first you, then you, so it's first you, 动词名词, keep going through and describe that recipe. Okay? Ready? So 查一下, 然后 Now, any questions, just ask me. If there's something you don't know, but you should all know the ingredients. Yeah. Yeah. Break the eggs into. Helma? Yeah, that's easy. So break. Yeah, that's simple. Yep. 倒油. Other side. Angela. Good. That's so easy. That's so easy. All right, good. All right. Confident? You can do it?
Just have a go.
Okay, 等一下. 你是 A? Good. B? 是谁是 B? 你是 B? 是 B? Okay. So, 站起来. C 是谁啊? C? Okay. 站起来. C. 来. 10. Come to the front. Thank you. Just, sorry. No, it's all right. You can sit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. A. 说. B. 表演. C. 你猜. A. 说什么? Oh, okay. So remember, if we're going, 如果你表演，你切片 ，cut， 剁到破 ，OK， 搅拌 mix，OK， 所以你是厨师 ，OK。
How did you know I study commercial cookery?
Really? Oh, that's great. 我猜不知道，我猜。OK， so 你说表演，你猜他做什么
But actually, I'm A.
你是 A，OK，A 说 B 表演 ，C 你猜，开始吧。
Do I say what the dish is?
No, because 他猜做什么
So I just say the verb.
You just say the verb. First you, then you.
I don't say any verb with wording that I should. Just like when I say cut, do I say cut what?
Yes, you do. You use the verb and the noun. First you cut the then you.
Alright.
Okay.
So first you slice a loaf of bread into 2 pieces. You slice.
Yeah.
And then you spread some butter on one piece of the bread.
这不要假装 yeah, okay, good.
And then you slice the cucumber. Then you cut the cheese. And next you go to place the cheese on top of one bread. And then place the cucumber on the cheese. And sprinkle salt and pepper on top of them. And the last step, you place another piece of bread on them. Yeah, you just cover that and it is done.
And cheese sandwich.
Cheese and
cucumber sandwich.
give her a clap. Fantastic. Okay, 交换一下。Okay, 你说，你表演，你猜，不择手段。
Slice the onion.
First you.
Slice onion.
First you slice the onions, then you come on. Right.
And cut the tomatoes. Break an egg into the bowl. Put some milk into the
Pour.
pour the milk into the bowl and sprinkle salt and pepper into the bowl. Mix them.
他表不是你。
And pour some oils into the pan. And put all the onions and tomatoes into the pan. When the pan is heating, it's heat. Put before you mix the egg milk and some salt and the peppers into the
Okay, thank you. Give her a clap. 做了什么？哎，在鸡蛋饼。 Okay? Now, 鸡蛋饼 is like, in English we call it, it's actually a 发语的单词 called omelette. Okay? Omelette. We just call it omelette. Okay? Good. Okay, and last one. 你表.
Firstly, slice the onion and then wash and cut the tomato. Cut the tomato. After that, slice the cucumber and then wash and cut the lettuce. Then you put all the onions, tomato, cucumber, and lettuce into the bowl and put olive oil in, and then sprinkle the salt and pepper. The last step is mix and stir, finely mix and stir them well.
Yeah, I know, easy. Okay, very good. Thank you. Very good, very good. Very good. Thank you. Now, there were still mistakes. There were still a lot of mistakes. You know, I mean, you made some mistakes. You made some mistakes. You know, so there's still ways that you can improve. There's definitely ways that you can improve. You know, I just think what I'm trying to do in my 教学方法 is I like when I'm teaching that it's very 那个粗的 It's more that you're actually doing something. It's in 心理学, in psychology, the more that if you touch and hold something and then say a word and actually do an action, it actually stays in your mind better. You remember better. Rather than just like 写作, writing it, it's just 耳边风. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You'll go to class, it'll go in one ear, out the other. You know what I mean? Whereas like if you're actually here and you're thinking in your mind, I'm making this now, and you're doing those verbs, this is a great way to reinforce language. Okay? It's a very effective method. Okay? Right, just before I finish up, because I'll finish up soon, just from part 3, just some tips. Really avoid trying to give short yes or no answers. Do you like playing sport? No. Now, B, as I mentioned, you asked earlier today, earlier in this lesson here, where it says, use personal experience or a story to help yourself to make a point or to express your opinion. Very good to do that. All right, try and personalise your answer. Personalise your answer is very good.
But sometimes when I do the speaking, when I spoke the part 3, and I just spoke the one part, I want to continue, but the examiner tried to stop me. Should I just stop or should I continue?
Oh, I know, because, yeah. 喋喋不休. Yeah. What you need to do, what you probably need to do is get to the point quicker. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you're just 拖延时间 too much rather than getting to the point. You know what I mean? Give your opinion very quickly. I think this because I remember when Maybe get to the point quicker. Are you doing that in part 1 or part 3? Part 3. In part 3. Well, look, part 3 you should be answering your questions on average maybe 40 秒, 40 seconds. Usually about 40 seconds. Yeah. Part 1, 20 to 30. You know what I mean? Give or take. Now it's saying here, this is a really good one. Use expressions that allow yourself time to think. Now, what about when someone asks you a question and you really have no idea how to answer the question? How are you going to 拖延时间? Right? Good. That's a good question. Or, well, let me think. Or, this one, I'm not really sure, but, and then start answering your question. Just doing these types of things, they're 很自然的. It's a natural thing to do. It's a natural thing to do in English. So if you use this, it's natural. So therefore the examiner's going, well, this is how normal people speak. So we use this. And actually, but please, in part 3, don't do it for every question. Good question. Let me think. Yeah, of course. But try and use it at least once. Try and use it at least once. At least maybe, 1 or 2 of them. Especially if you get a question that you're not really sure about. You just say, I don't care about that question. I've never thought about it. So, I'm not really sure. But maybe. And this type of thing, I'm not really sure, but maybe, is a great way to open it out for you to 比较. Well, I'm not really sure, but maybe I think, children should have less hours at school because they have too much pressure. However, if students don't have homework, then maybe they wouldn't get a good job when they graduate. Alright, so I've compared and I've given 2 opinions. Alright? Okay. Right, so there's some simple part 3 questions. What do you think the qualities are of a good teacher? Do you think that education should be 免费, should be free? And how do you think education has changed in the last 20 years? All right, and there's some sort of example questions of how you would break up an answer. Okay, you break up your answer into what is your opinion? What is the reason for this opinion? And then maybe some type of comparison, if possible, and then always go back to your conclusion. This is why I think that. Alright, I've used these adjectives, 那个创造的和那个鼓励的, okay? Creative and enthusiastic. Alright? And then I've changed the use of the word creative and using creativity and enthusiasm. Okay, look at the 照片. Come on. 喜欢那个转译答案. Alright, so that's the type of thing that we do when we get to part 3, and we spend time in our classes on preparing this. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, welcome to our school. If you're going to 报名